Kamali, taking you through the stories people are talking about and sharing around the world on NewsFeed today.
I'm Neha Punya in New Delhi, and I'm going to tell you how WhatsApp messages are being used to instigate mob lynchings in the country.
Ballers turn brawlers as a match between Australia and the Philippines gets crazy violent. Neymar. What were you thinking? The internet reacts to the Brazilian making a clown of himself at the World Cup. And a Syrian girl getting life-changing care in Turkey. We introduce you to Maya. Now, top of our newsfeed, WhatsApp lynchings in India. Another 5 people were killed over the weekend, bringing the number killed because of rumours spread on the social messaging app to 25. There's 25 people who've lost their lives in a brutal manner because of unsubstantiated rumours about people going around the Indian countryside trying to abduct children. Now, the fact this is happening and the fact it may get worse is a sign of the times. Access to the internet and smartphones is more prevalent in some parts of India than access to water. And that access to information can be misused and can be deadly. Nia is more.
Can you control the spread of fake information through WhatsApp, and can you also regulate what people are talking about on instant messaging apps? That's the question that India is grappling with over the last few months, because we've seen across 8 states 25 people who've been lynched by mobs, and all of this because of one rumor warning locals against the alleged presence of child abductors in their region. But Rajasthan police may just have found the solution to do this. They are sharing this information through a tweet where they're saying that our jobs as citizens is also to be vigilant about any kind of information we're sharing, and they've got a few internet websites listed here which will help you decode between fake news and actual news. They're urging as many people as possible to use this, because in Rajasthan we had seen one woman who was similarly lynched over a WhatsApp rumor as well. Shishir Kunder is saying this: WhatsApp forwards is not the problem, he says. Try spreading love, it won't spread so easily. And he says hate spreads easily when people are frustrated and angry. This cartoon by Satish Acharya is also doing the rounds because of how symbolic it is. You can see an executioner here reaching out for a whole bunch of weapons, and the sign says pick your weapon, but among them is a phone with a WhatsApp icon, telling you how easily it is possible now for misinformation to reach any corner of the country. Another picture that's become viral is this one, which shows the evolution of man from an ape to someone who can stand on his 2 legs, then to someone who's holding a phone in his hand, ostensibly reading a WhatsApp forward, and then how he regresses back to animal instincts, becoming a part of a larger mob. And finally, this picture that sums up the entire problem. You can see a man lying in a pool of blood surrounded by a mob, and this is done in the shape of the WhatsApp icon, and the larger message seems to be, how do you regulate the spread of misinformation, and is there really a solution in sight that can put an end to these lynchings?
All right, let's have a look at what else is trending on social media. 12 young footballers and their coach have been found alive in a cave complex in Thailand. Now, they've been in there for 9 days, and the whole of Thailand and anyone else who's been following the story have been holding their breaths, hoping for good news. Now, this is that, but it's stage 1. They now need to be rescued, and officials say that could take months. One of the suggestions is to try and teach them to dive so they can swim their way out. They were found 800 meters below ground. Heavy rains disrupted the morning commute in Mumbai, India. The hashtag Mumbai Rains has been trending. The huge amount of water made a bridge collapse, injuring 6 people. More rain is forecast for the rest of the week. And Warriors is trending after Golden State announced they'd signed DeMarcus Cousins. Just what the NBA champs need, another All-Star. The move comes just a day after LeBron James said he'd be joining the Lakers. Now, basketball is not a contact sport unless, as this video shows, the Philippines are playing Australia. Now, a couple of wrestling-style elbows from players from both teams were the catalyst for a mass brawl. And it wasn't enough to use fists and feet. Someone wanted to get a chair involved too. And it wasn't just the ballers fighting. Some nutters from the crowd got involved. And the match was a qualifier for the Basketball World Cup. And Australia were winning easily when all of this kicked off. The game, of course, had to be abandoned.
Physically, our players are fine. They're, bruised and battered. We don't have any breaks and anything like that. But really, it's the mental health of our players we're absolutely concerned about. That's something that, the critical issue for us last night was making sure that, our players were safely able to leave the arena.
Now, this tweet from the coach of the Philippines apologises and likens it to a father who cares too much about his son. Thon Maker, who plays for the Milwaukee Bucks and Australia, left this long apology on Twitter and says he hopes that what happened will allow for a wider discussion about security around these kind of games. And the boxing legend Manny Pacquiao left this. As you can see, it's two stills, one from last year when he fought and lost to the Australian Jeff Horn, and one from last night. Now, there were a couple of classic World Cup matches yesterday, and beyond the game we'll have all the details, but we want to discuss memes because why not? During the Brazil-Mexico game, there was some theatrics, as it's known, by the Brazil superstar Neymar. Now, his team may have won and he may have scored, but the internet was not happy and thousands of memes started being posted. Let's start with this one. Now, here's the Brazil number 10, and one of those things you give to babies to help them around the house with the words, "The internet doesn't forgive." And this one from a Mexican fan shows Neymar engaging in his said theatrics and asking on a level of 1 to 8 what level he feels like. He scores himself a 6. And this gif keeps making me laugh. It says, "Someone give Neymar an Oscar already." Now, an organisation that pays for Jewish people from around the world to travel to Israel has come under fire by 5 women who were taking part in a recent trip.
You did not come to learn about Israel, you came to learn about Palestine. You can take my picture all you want, I don't care. Take my picture and post me anywhere you want. You think I'm afraid of somebody? I live in Israel.
We don't want anyone
This is my country, I'm a Jew, and this is my country, and I'm not living anywhere. No Palestinian is going to send me away from here.
There's a group of us on this trip who've been asking questions and trying to engage, and we have not been able to do that. And as a result, the 5 of us will be leaving.
Has either completely erased the effects of the occupation or avoided our questions or spun things in a way that we felt were extremely biased.
Go to Palestine. Just go. Because guess what's going to happen? You're going to get killed or you're going to get raped.
It feels morally irresponsible to take part in an institution that's not willing to deal with the reality of occupied territories.
Well, in response to what happened, the organisation's founder, Yossi Belin, said he didn't come up with this to teach young Jews about the Middle East conflict and that people are free to learn what they want. All right, let's take you around the world for some other stories you need to know this Tuesday. Another day, another admission of wrongdoing by Facebook. The social network is now facing a fresh set of investigations into its dealing with a company that worked around the world to manipulate Facebook and other social media sites in the pay of political movements. Cambridge Analytica is under scrutiny in the US and the UK for its role in harvesting the data of millions of Facebook users. It would then use that data to produce targeted posts with the intention of swaying a user's opinion about one issue or another. The FBI and the Securities and Exchange Commission in the US say they've widened their probe into the firm, and that means that Facebook will be caught up too and have to reveal more about the two companies' relationship status. It's complicated. An Instagram account called Diet Madison Avenue has been exposing alleged sexual misconduct in the advertising industry. That was until it accused one man who was sacked, and that man is now suing his previous employer. And that legal action means that Instagram may be forced to reveal the names of those behind the account. It's a very interesting moment for these movements and for social media. Is social media the right forum to reveal things that need to be stood up in a court of law? And what rights to redress do people accused on social media have if that allegation against them proves false? This is one we will be keeping an eye on here on NewsFeed. And kind of sticking with the theme, the Prime Minister of Canada has denied that he groped a young reporter 18 years ago. This goes back to an allegation written in a newspaper in 2000 saying that Justin Trudeau inappropriately touched a young reporter while at an event. Now, a screenshot of that story was then tweeted earlier this month, and then Trudeau was asked about it over the weekend. Leaked documents seen on Twitter show a plan by zoos in China to buy some endangered animals from the Democratic Republic of Congo. The zoos want 12 mountain gorillas, 16 bonobos, 16 chimpanzees, 8 manatees, and 20 okapi. Now, the shopping list of wildlife has understandably had rights groups furious, not least due to the idea of mass transporting a bunch of animals across the globe, but also because the DRC doesn't have these animals in captivity, so they'd have to be taken from the wild, massively increasing the stress that's placed upon them. It's being viewed as China's latest attempt to use their economic might to strip resources from Africa. And Mao Zedong has erupted on Bali again, and these are the latest amazing pictures. The eruption went on for 7 minutes and forced the evacuation of a nearby village. And for you geology nerds, it was a Strombolian eruption, which is the mildest type possible, despite the dramatic pictures. Oh, sorry, just catching up. And now thanks to a new feature from Instagram, they'll tell me when it's time to give my thumb a rest. Now, the latest version of the app will have a big green tick that will tell you when you've seen all the posts on your timeline. So no more endless scrolling. Not that I think that will stop people. Now, yesterday on Twitter, the socialite and reality TV personality Paris Hilton posed a question. Tell me something I don't know. And the internet duly answered. Well, there were loads, but we picked a few, and this is one from the actor Zach Braff, who told Paris and the world that the singer Lauryn Hill was at his bar mitzvah. And one here for all us video game nerds tells Paris that Super Mario 2 that was released in the US was very different from Super Mario 2 released in Japan because the US version was a reskin of the game Yume Kojo Doki Doki Panic. I did always wonder why Super Mario 2 was so weird. And this one's great from a guy called Jesse Hyman, who posted this picture saying, "We met once." Now, a young Syrian girl is receiving treatment by Turkish doctors for a rare congenital condition. She's been living in a camp for internally displaced people in Syria. The war in the country has destroyed her home. Here's the story of Maya.
طبعا أهم شيء يعني أنا عندي بنتي أعتبرها يعني أهم مني يعني إنه تمشي وتقدر تعتمد على نفسها وهيك وأكيد يعني خطوة جديدة يعني ممكن حياة جديدة.
Çokça çocuğumuz var. Esas mesele yetkisi, etkisi olabilecek herkesin bu savaşın durdurulabilmesi için ivedilikle çarçabuk hamle yapması, bir çare olması.
Well, it's Tuesday and we have an Animals Doing Stuff featuring a bear who just wants some downtime. Now, this happened in California where people have hot tubs in their backyards. Pretty nice, huh? A man was in this one when, according to reports, he heard a rustling. Then he saw a bear climbing his fence. Now, not wanting to share with the furry guy, the man got out and the bear was like, "This is mine now." He settled in for a dip. Ah, the bare necessities. Well, that is a lot from the NewsFeed team. Reach out to us with your questions, comments, complaints and suggestions. I'm at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on Twitter, YouTube and Facebook. Follow, subscribe and add. See you again tomorrow.